Test, test, test. I don't know who's sitting here, but I'm going to have you borrow that for the time being. You just push
Yeah,
you just push that in
yeah.
until it turns green, and then you're good to go. When you introduce
Okay.
when you do emo emo, he's going to do introduce one of the judges because and then he'll hand it to you when you're finished. Hand it over here because he's going to read comments. Is he okay? Yeah, was he in
He
that?
has some like ulcerative colitis, and he's been in the hospital a few times. His wife is a head of hospital, so she knows what's going on.
Yeah,
And he's okay. He's just
yeah,
going to do stuff.
damn. Okay. No, I appreciate him judging for us.
He's a good guy.
Sounds like it.
Same thing. Checking out Wednesday. It's about 2 days apart. Actually, usually Thursday we used to be.
I went online and Googled him. He's only about a year younger than I am.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he and I are about the same age. Okay, grab a seat. We're going to get started.
Thank you very much.
I get yelled at if I don't turn off the lights, and I get yelled at if I turn on the lights, and I just can't win. I just can't win. Okay. Next week, July 19th, Chris Murray is going to talk about the subjective landscape. July 26th, nature competition. Submissions have to be in by the 17th. August 12th, unleash your creativity. This is going to be a Zoom presentation. Liz, and I'm not even going to try her name, Gertzheim? August 9th, photojournalism. August 1st, we're going to have our next SIG meeting. I guess we had a little break over the 4th. But Dave is going to talk about managing light in photography. Announcements. July 13th, tomorrow, Nelson Kennedy Ledges field trip. This is open to everybody, members and non-members. See the website for more details. And then Sunday, July 14th, another meetup at Fairport Harbor. I believe this is one where some of the members of the Akron Photo Club are going to join us. Introduction to matte cutting and photo mounting. Dennis Wirt has graciously volunteered to teach a class on matte cutting and photo mounting. It's going to be the first and third Tuesdays of the month. So far we have 3 sessions scheduled, July 16th, August 6th, and August 20th. This is a fantastic opportunity to learn something that will be beneficial to displaying your prints. And it's also going to be a money saver. Dennis, the club has gone out and bought all the materials, all the mounting, everything you need to mount your photos. A single mat is going to be, and this is including backing board, a single mat is going to be $3. A double mat is going to be $5. You can't beat that anywhere. And once you actually have taken the class, then any night that the doors are open here at the clubhouse, except competition print nights, because we'll be using the room in the back, you're allowed to come on in, grab some mats, and mat your photos, anytime you want. It's going to be the honor system. Dennis hasn't put something out, but I think there'll probably be a jar or something where you can throw your money in. Again, $3 for a single mat, $5 for a double mat. Can't beat that. Chris, still signing up for Fundamentals of Good Photography. You can still sign up for the virtual class and then proceed at your own pace. Once you have signed up for the class, in the future when it's offered in person, another $10 and you can come in and take the class in person. Positions needed. Phone photography instructor. I want to talk about this. We haven't gotten really a lot of interest in this, and so I'm going to try and make it as non-intimidating as possible and explain what's going on. There are already a couple of people that have volunteered to be instructors, and we're looking for a third instructor and I believe, don't hold me to this, but I believe Richard was talking about a 6-week session. But they're going to teach you everything you know. So you're not going to be out there on your own. You're going to be working with a couple of other instructors. And so please, volunteer to be a phone photography instructor. Matte cutting and photo mounting instructor. Come on in, take the class with Dennis. He will teach you all you need to know. And this position, we're just primarily looking for somebody to back Dennis up. You're free to come in any night. But when Dennis is unavailable, you might take the class and run with it. Tonight's CPS history lesson. I'm a history buff, and I think I'm very proud of this club. It's got a very storied history, and so I wanted to start to tell everybody a little bit about the history of the club. The club was founded in 1887. It was originally called the Cleveland Camera Club. The first president was the Reverend Charles Pomeroy, pastor of the Second Presbyterian Church. Dr. Robert Dayton, he was a dentist, was vice president. The treasurer was Arthur D. Cutter. William T. Higbee of the Howard and Higbee Company, later to become the Higbee Company, was secretary. There were originally 20 members. Of these 20 members, they were all men of property and position like the officers. Originally, no women were allowed. Very, very sexist in the beginning. The club changed its name to the Cleveland Photographic Society, June 7th, 1913. And I didn't bring it in with me, but when we were cleaning the back room, we found the original articles of incorporation. They're framed, the glass front is cracked, so I'm going to get it reframed and hang it up on the wall. but the Cleveland Photographic Society was incorporated in 1920. I think it was like October something. I'm going to brag a little bit. I was going to save this for later. You might not think it's too cool, but I think it's really cool. Back on the plaque back there are listed all the presidents. Dr. Harrison Wilsey, I think it was like in the 1950s. He was the president for a couple of years. He's my great uncle. So I'm the second in my family to be the president of the photo club, and I think that's really cool. My aunt was in town. Yeah, well, I haven't done anything yet, so don't applaud. You might kick me out of here. My aunt was in town the other day. I kind of was suspicious that that was the case, but she confirmed it. And I'm probably not going to do a history lesson every night, but you're going to see a couple of history lessons. The club changed its name to the Cleveland Photographic Society in 1913. There's a little bit of a story behind that that I'll share with you later on. I got tired of looking at 3 slides for this, so I incorporated it all into one slide. The Friday evening meetings, you can go and find them on YouTube. You can go to YouTube and search for Cleveland Photographic, or you can go to the CPS website homepage and click on live. You can subscribe to the channel and choose to be notified whenever a new video is posted. In the picture on the left, you see the icon that you click on to go to the next page. Picture on the right, click on live, and it will take you to the section where the videos from all the Friday night events are held. And you can watch the event live there. Doug Hansgate is going to be one of our judges this evening. 40 years of professional photography under his belt. Oops. Doug's work has been displayed in galleries in New York City, Washington, D.C., the Smithsonian, Buffalo, Toronto, and the world-famous Ontario Art Gallery. His work has been seen in dozens of magazines and on commercial sites throughout the web. He has received numerous national and international awards, including the Kodak Award for Image Excellence. The next judge is Paul Kalesa. He is with the St. Louis Camera Club, but has volunteered to judge for us. Paul considers himself a photographic artist, driven by a passion for the art form rather than a desire to make it a profession. He refrains from the term amateur due to its perceived connotations of inferiority, instead focusing on honing his craft through various genres. His photographic journey began in 1972, and over the years, Paul has explored diverse subjects, including people, vacation, and nature photography, with a particular affinity for capturing bugs and flowers. While he has dabbled in landscape and architectural photography, he finds greater fulfillment in travel and street photography, aiming to create exhibition quality images that narrate a story. And then our last judge is Emil Vessels. Wally Nell, one of our members, introduced me to Emil. This is kind of interesting. With being able to use judges remotely, we've had judges from all over the United States and even Canada. We now have an international judge. Emil is in Johannesburg, South Africa. And Wally has, since I didn't have a chance to get a bio from him, Wally was going to do a little introduction on Emil.
Yeah, he's been my mentor in some aspects of my photography, so I know his work very well. He's been doing professional photography since the late 70s. His strength is in people photography. He owns a studio, and his daughter with him over there. They're both very much involved in the movie world. He has been the still photographer for numerous Hollywood productions. He has photographed people like, well, I don't even remember who anymore, but he's been published more times than I can think. And he knows what he's talking about.
And with that, let's get on to our competition. Oops, wrong one.
Any of the readers can't read? Okay. So Emil says, this is a pleasant portrait. I find the hand very dominant. There's a little blowout on the right-hand side veil. Sharpness is great and has a good narrative.
May I make sure this is by Dave Saborik. Is that correct? Okay. Dave Saborik, the image is entitled A Friend, 20 points.
Who's next?
This one here.
The photo is American Beauty. This is from the Judge Doug. Too centered on the subject for me. Could have cut off her hair on the left frame and gotten tighter for a more dynamic image. Nice control of depth of field.
The image is entitled American Beauty by Amy Rudowitz, 22 points.
Barking orders. Paul says, I like the emotion in the image. The lighting is nice. While the red in the face may be the way it was, it does seem a little too intense.
The image is entitled Barking Orders by Joe DiStefano, 22 points.
Emil says, there's a lot going on in this image. Exposure is great and love the story. However, the black in the left background is jarring. The little girl on the left is clipping. The difficulty is capturing everyone with their eyes open, but a pleasing image.
The image is entitled Brainy Little Actors by Charles Kay, 19 points.
Doug says, color is interesting and the subject great, but would suggest lower angle on the image would have made it much more impactful. The shoes alone tell a story that would have been enhanced with a lower angle. Nice of the maker to see potential.
The image is entitled Busy Day by Gary Wood, 20 points.
Paul says, the colors are intense and they work well. I do get the feeling that the subject is tilted too much. I think I would have liked it better if the subject had been looking at the camera.
The image is entitled Butterfly Girl by Jennifer Gaba, 20 points.
Doug says, nice depth of field. However,
I think you skipped me. This is, is that colored?
I think so.
Okay, that's Emil's. That's, this image has a wow factor. This is color for color's sake and works well. The bonus for me is the reflections in his spectacles. Very trippy boho.
Color by Joe Smith, 24 points, honorable mention.
Okay, Doug says, nice depth of field. However, I would like to see more three-dimensional contract in the image. Colors are great and subject terrific.
The image is called Darfur Refugees by Wally Nell, 25 points, third place.
You went backwards. Oops.
Paul says, the symmetry of the three subjects is nice. Equal distance of the people from the camel. The small dry vegetation in the foreground adds to the image. The image might benefit from some cropping on the left and right.
Desert Travelers at Sunset by Richard Ader, 24 points, honorable mention.
Emil says the color contrast smacks of a good seeing eye. The choice of using diffuse light has made this an evocative portrait.
Dignity in Darfur by Wally Nell, 25 points, third place.
Doug says, nice composition and interest, but lacks the drama of depth that I would have liked to see. Once again, lower image angle would have helped a lot.
Dog in Tow by Dan Hennessy, 20 points.
Paul says, I think this is a great documentation image. The lighting made it difficult. The smile and the bright tilt of the head work very well.
Dr. Connie Marino by Fran Marino, 18 points.
Emil says, caught at the peak moment. The expression is of concentration. The yellow ball demands your attention. The only downside to this pic is the bright visor and the shoe.
The image is called Focus, BC Student by Susan Mahorsic, 24 points, honorable mention.
Doug says, great action, tack sharp, well-balanced image that shows off the sport well. Really nice framing as well.
The image is called Focus, Zoom Crew by Susan Mahorsic, 24 points, honorable mention.
Paul says, I really like this image. The juxtaposition of the soft and the wild subjects works well. And I will let the other viewers decide which subject is soft and which is wild. Wonderful lighting.
The image is called Forest Companion by Eric Botsky, 26 points, second place.
Emil says this mother has the most pleasing expression. However, the baby's bonnet and the pink jacket is overbright. Another factor was the relative prominence in the background, or of the background. A wider open aperture could help. Love the vibrant colors.
Happiness Is by Gary Wood, 22 points.
The harshness of the light and the fact that the people are not looking at the maker distracts for the image. This is a story. There is a story, but the maker failed to convey it to the viewers of the image.
The image is called Happy Bride by Natalie Sousa, 19 points.
Paul says, a great image capture, wonderful lighting. Vibrant colors. The subject's intense look adds to the feeling of the image.
The image is called Harpist by Mike Kopkis, 24 points, honorable mention.
Emil says, a severe crop has made this image a little cramped. The straight-on camera flash has somewhat flattened the perspective. The book she is holding is very bright and could possibly be toned down a little bit.
The image is called Halloween Times by Maria Diaconou, 17 points.
Nice control of depth of field, recognition of the subject interest. The light is somewhat flat, and the image would be better with some dodging and burning.
The image is called Indian Street Scene by Richard Ader, 24 points, honorable mention.
Paul says, a pleasant feeling from this image, but I think the overall lighting made this a difficult capture. The subject eyes are squinting, likely due to looking into bright light.
The image is called Jacob the Carriage Driver by Mike Kopkis, 21 points.
Emil says, this is a great image. Firstly, for the way the vignette has been executed. The theatrical setting shows confidence in the photographer's craft. There is enough detail here in the white that it's within bounds.
Life Itself is a Dance by Susan Bestel, 25 points, third place.
Doug says, tell a story of the march. And fun it entails, however, the image, like real drama, that some control of the light might bring.
Losing a Spare Tire is Tough by Dave Korosek, 20. Let me hang on a second, I can't read this. 23 points.
The concept of this image, I like the concept of this image. The reflection of the person in the ornament is a good idea, but I wish the reflection would have been more inclusive of the photographer.
The image is called Man in the Ornament by Jeff Sabo, 21 points.
Emil says, this image is crisp, colorful, and has an interesting narrative. Although it is posed, what makes it different for me is the dog is not looking directly into the frame and into the lens. A dog is doing what a dog does. The technical aspect of this image is the depth of field, which makes the subject pop.
Metro Park Triker by Lance Mayer, 22 points.
Creative and interesting. Well-balanced exposure in the wall and sign. However, I would have had increased the light in the mirror itself and brought the shadows up.
Mirror Mirror by Natalia Souza, 23 points.
I like so many things about this image. The feeling of the performer, and that he may be calling for a beverage. The out-of-focus bright object just kind of kills the mood.
Night at the Irish Pub by Jeff Sabo, 19 points.
Emil says, wow, love this image. Again, there's quite a story to be woven there. A person's imagination can read horror stories of magic and intrigue here. The reflections on the chrome, the green from her hair, creates a powerful image. The pose is on point here, well done.
Owning All This by Amy Rudowitz, 26 points, second place.
Really nice angle and capture. Tells a story, and the sometime has detail in the shadows. The added scratches on the surface do not help in my mind, but I get the maker's attempt of making it look old.
Raven Black by Daniel Sandy, 26 points, second place.
Paul says, a wonderfully sharp image, and it gives a good feeling of what the subject is doing. The line wire, or whatever it is, bisecting the subject head is kind of tough.
Rounding second by Jordan Tetzel, 24 points, honorable mention.
Emil says, oh my, this is a stunning portrait. What makes it great is there is no forced styling of the model's hair. Although the hand is on her chin, it's not dominant. The soft smile shows the photographer has her confidence, and the blue eyes make it great. The choice of the green at the base is clever.
Sarah by Marge Brady, 24 points, honorable mention.
Doug says too much contrast between the subject and the background. The background is way too bright. Love the concept. I think I would just go for more of the mid-tone gray for the background.
Sax Player by Graham Stead, 20 points.
Paul says, many things to like in this image. Is that the same thing again? Okay. Many things to like in this image. Good lighting, interesting subject, eye contact. The yellow button is kind of distracting. It keeps pulling my eye away from the main subject.
She, They by Marge Brady, 21 points.
Emil says, this portrait is stunning. It shows the model's beauty and grace. From this image, you can read the personality. The separation from the background works so well. The design on the blue leads your eyes to the face.
I'm not sure if this title is correct. It's Signe, S-I-G-N-E, by Kim Waszalewski, 21 points.
Doug says great hair, but the pose is too strained for anyone to look at for long. Love the thought, but would have moved her along the wall a little bit and give her head a resting place.
Steps by Fran Marino, 20 points.
Paul says, a really interesting image. Superman, Superman. The strong shadow cast by the brim of the hat hurts the overall image.
Superfan by John Paganini, 19 points.
Emil says, an epic capture. This crop does not show you all, but your eye translates to the event. Tango. The expression of both is one of passion. I love the little bit of hair on her brow. The look is intense. Well done.
Tango by Bill Keaton, a perfect score, 27 points, first place.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Doug says simply lovely image, well-balanced light, and contrast with dimensional light and depth. Just outstanding.
Tender Moments by Jackie Sieski, 26 points, second place.
Paul says, I enjoy this image. The photographer is making art of someone else making art. The darker mood of the exposure may be just what the maker wanted, but I keep thinking I might like it just a little brighter.
The Artist by Robert Boyle, 23 points.
Email says, I can see what the photographer was trying to achieve, and but the very close cropping is a bit too tight. I like his expression and the reflection in his eyes. I can detect some editing on the right-hand side and dodging in the eyes. This is all part of the creative process.
The Gladiator by Dave Saborik, 23 points.
Doug says great detail, and the slight angle lends energy to the strings. The fingers and the scars just went to make you learn more about the subject.
The Old Harp Player by Bill Keaton, 26 points, second place.
A nice family shot. Great expressions from the parents. The lighting due to the time of day does seem to hurt the overall image.
Together with Mom and Dad by Joseph Miko, 19 points.
Emil says, great composition here. A great vantage point to be able to capture this moment. The water spray is crisp and sharp. The focus is tack sharp. A great lead in from the right, which in many cultures is counter to us reading from left to right. This is a perfect example of it working 100%. Great image.
Wakeboarding by Dan Hennessy, 21 points.
Harsh light, great composition, just enough light to focus on the subject.
Go ahead.
Focus on the subject could have been helped with vignette.
Was Life Created by John Paganini, 20 points.
I find images like this fun and a good documentation of a gathering. I feel it has the most appeal to those participating.
10 of Us by Maria Diaconou, 23 points.
Emil says, I honed my skills in the theater and movie sets. This is an epic image. The backlight and the dancers make them pop out from the background. The inclusion of the smoke from above is very astute. The contrasting red and blue light make for an amazing image. Wow.
At the Tango by Charles Kay, 26 points, second place.
Nice control. Doug says nice control of light on the snow, but lacks a story in the reflection. If the maker intended the reflection to be the story, that perhaps a closer look at the ornament.
Christmas at the Cleveland Zoo by Jen Cockrell, 20 points. Gary?
Oh, sorry. Is this Doyle?
Yes.
I do like this image. The perspective kind of makes the picture. The monochrome treatment helps a lot with the feeling of the event.
Doyle by Dan Sandy, 25 points, third place.
Emil says, the 1,000-yard stare here provides a story of the scene. Having blocked out the pain, you feel his distance to the needle. Again, the isolation from the background edit makes this more powerful. The detail in his stubble and the color of his eyes is remarkable. Great image.
Far Away by Joe Smith, 26 points, second place.
Doug says nice crop and energy with the rider and a horse. But we have a conflict with the rider's head and the woods in the background. A smaller depth of field would have helped the lens blur in Lightroom.
Grace and Journey by Kim Waszalewski, 22 points.
This is an interesting treatment. Unfortunately for me, it just doesn't appeal to me. The subject is just too diffused.
Halftone, okay, is there more?
I should have said diffused.
Okay. Halftone Portrait by Joe DiStefano, 20 points.
Emil says, street photography is one of observation and timing. The subject is very central in the frame, but is saved by the moment by his cape. I feel the people in the background are not adding to the image, but such is the nature of doing these things.
I have an announcement to make by Jordan Tetzel, 21 points.
Doug says, nice energy, tack sharp, nice geometry of the subject and background. Would love to see with more three-dimensional contrast.
Inspiration by Jill Zapka, 24 points, honorable mention.
A very cute child and a wonderful expression. I find the lighting to be a little bit too flat, and cropping the top of the helmet kind of just makes this a snapshot kind of picture.
Logan on Paw Patrol by Mike Lonsdale, 21 points.
Emil says, also a great portrait. The model's wardrobe is on point and created a story. She could be a sorceress from a Harry Potter movie, but could also be in her own right have such a personal style that this is a really great capture. I love the bokeh.
Piercing Eyes by Eric Botsky, 26 points, second place.
Doug says, nice control of light and shadow, well-balanced light. Would love to have the dog's head rotated to the left to mimic owner.
Say Cheese by Jackie Sayeski, 26 points, second place.
Paul, I kind of like the overall feeling of the image. The solo person is looking at the ancient Stonehenge. Give a wonderful feeling to this image. The lighting is somewhat flat, but that is just the kind of what one gets there.
Stonehenge, England by Eric Wethington, 21 points.
Emil says, this gives a new spin on Little Red Riding Hood. I like the execution of this well done. Here we see the wolf actually being a protector. The model has great quality about her, soft pale skin. The foreground adds to the forest feel, and the whole scene is managed well. Exposure, color is superb.
Tame Your Fears by Belinda Prince, 24 points, honorable mention.
Doug says, well-balanced light and dark, strong subject matter, and great use of stage lighting. Not easy to shoot.
The Power of Dance by Susan Bestel, 25 points, third place.
Paul says, the colors are nice in this image and the intensity of the subject is good. The lighting is somewhat flat, and it's too bad that the subject's shoulders are not squared up.
Young Warrior by Christina Goff, 22 points. And that concludes the people portion of the competition. You want to move on to the pictorial now, or take a break, or what?
Keep on going.
All right. So these are non-comment images, so I will just, we'll put the image up and I'll read the scores, and then we'll move on. A Daylily from My Garden by Jen Cockrell, 24 points. This says A Girl Can Dream by Eric Botsky, 23 points. Okay. Aunt Susie with Cousin Annabelle by Jordan Tetzel, 21 points. Bleeding Hearts by Rachel Kovacs, 25 points, third place. Bridal Veil Falls by Margot Wethington, 23 points. Cedar Waxwings by Lance Mayer, 22 points. Cherry Point Sunrise, South Carolina by Dave Korosek, 25 points, third place. Citadel Remains by Joe Smith, 27 points, perfect score, first place. Is Joe here? No? Okay. City Lights by Dennis Wirt, 24 points. Dogwood Blossom by Ron Werman, 25 points, third place. Fuzzy Tree by Joseph Miko, 21 points. Geranium Bud by Jill Zapka, 21 points. Glacier National Park by Bob Kowaleski, 26 points, second place. Heidelberg Music Window by Bonnie Luxo, 21 points. Heirloom Tomatoes by Melanie Plummer, 26 points, second place. In the Wilderness by Robert Boyle, 23 points. Irish Row Houses by Bonnie Luxo, 22 points. Jumping by Jackie Sieski, 26 points, second place. Locomotive Breath by Jerry Payno, 25 points, third place. Mott Mott on Branch by Belinda Prince, 26 points, second place. Never Alone by Jerry Payno, 25 points, third place. Okay. Pismo Pier Golden Hour by Melanie Plummer. Another perfect score, 27 points, first place.
There you go. Congratulations.
For those at home, we have passed out special ribbons for perfect scores, so. Praying for Hell, Dan Sandy, 27 points, perfect score, first place.
There you go. Congratulations.
Rainy Day by Rachel Kovacs. This has got to be a first. Another perfect score, 27 points, first place. I can't ever remember having 3 in a row. Is Rachel here? No?
No.
Rusted Workhorse by Dennis Wirt, 24 points. Seven Tulips by Ron Werman, 23 points. Sibling Shenanigans by Susan Bestel, 23 points. I can't say it. Spherify, okay, by Joe DiStefano, 23 points. The Lone Tree by Eric Wethington, 23 points. The Race is On by Bob Kowaleski, 24 points. Water for Building Destruction by Graham Stead, 24 points. Waterfall by Eric Wethington, 21 points. Working Man by Maria Diaconou, 22 points. Yosemite Falls by Margot Wethington, 22 points. Okay, these images will now be commented on, so.
Emil says, oh, hang on. Yeah. Emil says, fantastic exposure, excellent composition. The white in the buildings make the image come alive. With great inclusion of the tree in the left breaks the horizon perfectly. The overall tonality is great. Oh, and the flock of birds is a bonus.
Amish Farm Autumn Pano by Dave Korosek, 24 points.
Doug says, nice depth and control of depth of field. Would love to see a bit more color in the aspen, but seriously, nice.
Aspen Holiday by Bob Kowaleski, 22 points.
Paul says, the overall exposure in this image is good. Keeping detail in the tunnel-like opening is tough and handled well. The image does not really draw me in. It seems to me to be more documentation than creative.
Breesock Germany Arch by Bonnie Luxo, 24 points.
Emil says, what a feast for the eye. The yellow Ford hot rod is a little central, but the yellow throughout makes the image stand out. My only negative credit is the white vehicle and the lamp post. Crisp, pristine image, well done.
Canola Yellow by Dennis Wirt, 26 points, second place.
Doug says, one of my favorite, I'm going to say, life subjects, balancing the ambient light and fill light masterfully. The leading lines and the light just help to make a great image.
City Girl by Natalia Souza, 25 points, third place.
Paul says, very interesting technique. A moody feeling. This is very much an abstract image in my mind. I would like to see if making the image a little brighter might improve the image for me.
Cleveland Docks by Graham Stead, 25 points, third place.
Emil says, the composition here is amazing. To get the check in between the parent is a stroke of luck or just pure lenscraft. The isolation from the background is perfect. The soft light prevents severe contrast. The perfect eye-sharp focus is masterful.
Crane Family by Dave Saborik, 26 points, second place.
Doug says nice composition and the use of energy that was present by capturing the details. Really nice image.
Finn by Susan Mahorsick, 25 points, third place.
Paul says, a great moody image. I love the fog in the background. It would have been nice if the tree and the taller monument had not merged.
Foggy Morning at Lakeview by Ron Werman, 25 points, third place.
Emil says, a very well exposed and sharp image. The texture on the log as well as the fur is remarkable. There are a few twigs and stones that are quite sharp relief, but looking at the complete image, it is successful.
Ground Squirrel by Margot Wethington, 23 points.
Doug says the strength of the image lies in the eyes of the subject. The story is told, especially the young child in the bottom left corner.
Happiness Is by Gary Wood, 22 points.
An interesting pattern image. There are some distracting light marks on the right side of the image.
Hollywood Squares Candidate by Dan Hennessy, 22 points.
Emil says, this is a great photojournalistic image. The scene is pretty rural, and I love the muted tones overall. The only out of place element is the mobile phone. There's loads of texture here. The soft lighting is a win too.
Indian Mother and Son by Richard Ader, 25 points, third place.
Doug says too contrasty, although I love the subject. The little black sheep is almost not distinguishable from a shadow.
Irish Farmer by Jeff Sabo, 21 points.
Paul says, I really love this image. Great detail on the main subject. The small fingers wrapped around the piece of vegetation is nice. The muted background is well done.
Jamila by Rachel Kovacs, 26 points, second place.
The warm tones in this image work on many levels. The choice of the lens, the lack of depth of field here isolates the subject. There's an emotion in the eyes. The detail in the white is crisp. The soft area of the garment and at the bottom does not detract from the image.
Cartoon Man by Wally Nell, 23 points.
Doug says nice find on the shadow, but the image lacks much else in the storyline. Would have liked to have more to the story.
Memento Mori by Jerry Pano, 21 points.
Paul says, a good feeling from this image. The time of day and the lighting is good. The sky is very good, and the birds really help this image.
Nashville Night Skyline by Mike Kopkas, 25 points, third place.
As a pictorial image, this works. The vignetting around the bird contains the bird within the frame. The feather texture is great, but there seems to be a little softness on the beak. The only real negative in this image is the ring on the leg.
Nicobar Pigeon by Marge Brady, 25 points, third place.
Doug says power and strength in beautiful color. Quite nice, perfect composition. I love the enhanced greens of the waves.
Ocean Waves by Joseph Miko, 26 points, second place.
This is a wonderful portrait. Good lighting, wonderful pose. The offset of the model to the left of the image seems to help make this image.
Pearls of Wisdom by Amy Rudowitz, 24 points.
Initially, I wasn't keen on this image, but looking at it again, I can see that a crop off the bottom to exclude the dark area would be more pleasing. A great image of movement counterbalanced with the strong vertical lines of the pier work well.
Pismo Beach Pier Blue Hour by Melanie Plummer, 23 points.
Doug says 2 stories, one of light and one of the guard. Which one wins the day is up to the viewer, but does bisect your thoughts.
Securing the Halley Building by John Paganini, 22 points.
A great emotional feeling to this image. Wonderful lighting. I like including all the background in this image. It tells a story.
Shake, Cone, or Funnel Cake by Fran Marino, 26 points, second place.
What a lovely scene. A long exposure captures what one cannot see with the naked eye. The swirl of the foreground grasses is a great plus. So too are the distant lights and the stars and the moon. Should make for a great print.
Storm Clearing by Lance Mayer, 25 points, third place.
Doug says nice leading line, but the sky needs work. It appears to be too mushy. It leaves you wanting after the detail of the foreground.
Transamerica Pyramid by Mark Hansen, 22 points.
Paul says, the slow shutter speed giving a soft feel to the waterfall makes this image. Good foreground as well. Good lighting on the waterfall as well.
Wet Roots and Falls by Bill Keaton, 23 points. And that concludes our competition for this evening. Congratulations to all the perfect scores. I don't think we've ever had so many.